for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilman Wareheim.
Here.
Councilwoman Noack.
Here.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Here.
Sitting as Board of Water Commissioners, to authorize the following: the sale of surplus water and transfer of an account in the amount of $15,000 to maintenance and repairs in the amount of $15,000.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Here.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
The supervisor appoints Pastor Michael Lawyer as a member of the Youth Advisory Board, term of office September 23, 2016 through December 31, 2018. Supervisor appoints Salvatore DeLisio as a member of the Youth Advisory Board, term of office September 23, 2016 through December 31, 2018. We have a building department report for August 2016, which is on file in the clerk's office and is there for anybody's perusal. We have a first reading for a parade run walk in the Secaucus River State Park Foundation. We have a first reading for Kings Park VFW Post, Veterans Day Parade. We have a parade walk one ride for Karen, second reading. Parade run walk for Sergeant W. Cook, VFW Post, Veterans Day Parade, second reading. Special event Barillas Farm Stand Fall Festival, second reading. Special event Resurrection Byzantine Catholic Church, second reading. Parade walk Smithtown Kickers Soccer Club Turkey Trot, first reading. Anybody wish to be for or against either of those? Okay, advertise for public hearing. Town board to authorize the clerk to advertise for public hearing to be held at 2 p.m. on October 4th at the town of Smithtown Town Hall, 99 West Main Street, to consider town's entry onto certain real property located at 35 Shenandoah Boulevard, Wisconsin, town of Smithtown, New York, for the purpose of removing rubbish, debris, and overgrown vegetation at the site, all in violation of the Town Code, Chapter 221.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes. The town board, after due study and deliberation of the subject matter, to issue a negative declaration determination of non-significance in the following matters for reasons stated in the memorandum on the dates indicated. Change of zone petition 2015-06 by Aldrich Management Company. B, the town board's own motion to amend Smithtown Town Code Chapter 322 zoning regarding outdoor storage. C, application for a site plan approval by Stanley Sommer, Badia Sommer, and Jeffrey Heller for Sommer and Heller Office Building. Memorandum dated 9/15/2016.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes. Town board to authorize the clerk to advertise for the following bids to be returned to Town Hall on the dates indicated. Recycling of residential electronic waste, October 13, 2016. And bid number 16091, janitorial supplies, October 13, 2016.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Item number 2, the town board to award the following bids and to authorize the purchase of the associated goods and services as 2A, B, and C. Bid number 16-075, self-contained mobile bagging system. Bid number 16076, provide motor coach rental service, and bid number 16-073, handicap accessible curb cuts, all per the printed agenda.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Town board to approve the following as per 3.1 and then B through AC, all per the printed agenda.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Item number 4, the town board to approve the following zoning matters. The town board to conditionally approve zoning petition 2015-06 by Aldrich Managers LLC as per the printed agenda. Item number 4.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman Warehime,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Item number 5, the town board to authorize the acceptance of the following as per 5A and B, a check donation of $50 and a second check donation of $50, both to the animal shelter.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman Warehime,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Mr. Clerk, go back to item number 4, letter V. That has been withdrawn.
Yes, yeah, and,
I believe it was number 3 then.
we'll make a note that the town board approved the following, number V has been withdrawn.
Correct.
All right, so we'll take a vote on that. Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman Warehime,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
I will continue.
Item number 6, the town board to authorize the controller to execute the following as per 6A through I, either transfer and revenue codes, increase in accounts.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman Warehime,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Item number 7, the town board to approve settlement in the following matters per 7A, National General Insurance Company for the amount of $5,271.06.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman Warehime,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Number 8, town board to authorize supervisor to execute the following form approved by the town attorney as per 8A, B, and C, a lease agreement, an agreement to extend services with Nelson and Pope, and a specialized service agreement.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman Warehime,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Item number 9, the town board to approve the following personnel matters as per 9A through I, and that's part-time appointments, a medical leave, and a change of status, all per the printed agenda.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman Warehime,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes. That concludes resolutions wishing to be heard. Linda Clamful.
I have to say, that was the fastest board meeting I've ever been to. That was so awesome. My name is Linda Clamfel. I reside at 146 Norwalk Avenue in Medford. I'm from Almost Home. We're an animal rescue group. I've been doing shelter rescue work for over 25 years. I have substantial shelter experience, including evaluating dogs' temperament, adaptability, quality of life, and management. I stand here today to advocate for the dogs that are turned away from your town shelter every day. And it's not just you, it's every single town on Long Island. I don't know if you're aware, but your town animal shelter does not take in privately owned dogs. I have posters, but I didn't bring them. Dogs like Marvin, who was turned away when his family called the town shelter to surrender the dog because the owner went to jail. He was one of the lucky ones because his owner contacted us for help when the town shelter said no. These were dogs that were not to town of Smithtown, but it's just relevant to that this is what happens to the dogs. Bricks was not so lucky. He was turned away and he was found dead on the side of the road. A preliminary necropsy showed he was possibly electrocuted. Families who have nowhere else to go need a place to safely place their dog. Waiting lists don't work. When a family is moving at the end of the day and have exhausted all other options, I ask you, what do you think happens to that dog? I present to you with not just a very big problem, but with some solutions. I thank you for hiring a trainer to work with the dogs at Smithtown, because I think that's one of the main problems, is that dogs are just housed in kennels for long periods of time and they go insane after a period of time. But evaluate each turn-in request. Take some time to talk to the people on the phone, find out why they're giving up the dog. One of the things that we do in our rescue is we have a community outreach program. We visit houses. We offer medical assistance. So if someone calls your shelter and says, my dog was hit by a car and I can't afford to take care of it, they don't help them. And that dog may end up in your shelter anyway, and you're going to have to provide the care. So it's better to offer to the family assistance. It's not, I mean, you're in a fairly small community, so it's not as big as a problem as in other areas, but if they need help with food, they call your shelter, I can't afford to feed my dog, I have to give it up. I ask you to consider offering a program where you offer help to the family and you offer them food. Come by every month, get donations, just run, something to get something around. Some people have no choice. They have to surrender their dog. And if they call your shelter, they're turned away. And there's no other shelters that's going to take them. So I just ask you to look into, what's turned away. Because even when there is room at your shelter and you have 5 dogs, they don't take in privately owned dogs. They turn them away, especially if it's a pit bull. There's no chance. So I just ask you to look into that because it's an issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. John Ubanchik? Yes. Come on up.
Will you please come up to the microphone?
Hello, Town Board, Mr. Vecchio, Supervisor, Town Attorney. I'm here to speak about the abuse that went on in the shelter to a woman named Karen. Of course, Mr. Vecchio's not looking at me again.
I can hear you.
Oh, we're back to that thing with Mr. Solomon. You're going to call me a clown next, right?
I can hear you.
There was a woman named Karen. My daughter spoke about it. I spoke about it. She was treated, making her put her lunch in the freezer. She was also told she couldn't come to the shelter Monday through Friday because she brought cockroaches with her. But George Beatty allowed her to come on Saturdays. That's disgusting, and you didn't do nothing about it. You never came up to interview Karen yourself. You protected your friend that you hired in 1985. And letting that behavior go on in our town is not right. And I'm here, I'm going to keep mentioning this story over and over to the rest of the residents of Smithtown. See me on this local news channel. And next year, if you do decide to run again, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you do not win. You never, ever spoke to Karen? How could you let that go on in our town? That's disgusting behavior. It's a mentally challenged woman, and you let George Beatty abuse her. My child came up here and spoke about it. You did nothing about it. You never did anything about it to reach out to Karen, but you protect your friend George Beatty.
John, how old is this story?
Doesn't make a difference. It still
I'm asking a
happened.
question. How old
It's
is
about
the
a
story?
year and a half old.
About a year and a half old?
Yes.
So if I look up this story, it's going to be about a year and a half old.
If you go onto the Smithtown Animal Shelter
What
Needs
are you
Change
here
Facebook
tonight
page,
for?
it's the top story on the page.
Okay. And everything has been done to make the shelter.
I'm not here to talk about the shelter. I'm here to talk about Mr. Vecchio.
But you're
letting
talking about
George Beatty-
something from almost 2 years ago. What are you here for tonight?
I'm here to mention about how this woman got abused in the town of Smithtown, and Mr. Vecchio did nothing about it.
Well,
Sure,
Yeah.
please.
John, just so you know, because you and I have talked a lot when that was going on, and it was about 2 years ago, or maybe even longer. Just so you know, at that time, when that happened, the supervisor did appoint me as liaison. And as liaison, I was asked to go over, which I did. That's what the liaison does. And I did speak to Karen, but I have to be honest with you, when I spoke to her,
Please, I just lost like 40 seconds of my time. I have a point to make.
oh, but I'm asking you questions, so you won't lose the time, right?
The clock never stopped running.
Yeah, it's okay, you're not going to lose the time. I'm going to give it back to you, okay? I have a vote, you agree with me? Give it 40 seconds. Just so you know, so I was asked to go speak to her, and I did. And she really said, no, I'm fine, nothing would happen. She wouldn't even talk to me. So what I'm trying to say to you is, if somebody won't own up to it, there's not much you can do. And you do know that the whole situation actually, I guess Karen felt, went away when Mr. Beatty did retire. And I know part of that retirement was a very difficult time for him, as you recall, because we worked to make a lot of changes. So just so you know, I did go over and speak to her. For some reason, she wouldn't say to me, and I asked her about the lunch in the freezer, and she just wouldn't say it. Now, maybe she's just a very kind person, but I did go over and because I am the liaison, and that's what the supervisor tells me to do, or that's what we do as liaisons. So just so you know, she wouldn't say anything.
Well, Karen was here herself, and she spoke in this room and mentioned how she was not allowed to come in on
And then when I went over,
Saturdays.
she wouldn't talk about it. She
Because
said, no, I'm fine.
it's embarrassing to her to talk about it.
Could, yeah, that could be. But just so you know, it didn't go unaddressed.
Well, the district attorney has been pulling the people in from the workers with these euthanization records. Hopefully, they're going to see me speaking here tonight and pull Mr. Vecchio in to ask him how he doesn't allow public safety, why the district attorney wasn't coming in, and he has Mel Cohen from public safety to go interview Karen, and Mel Cohen never asked her about the freezer. He said that Karen did that of his own free will, but Mel Cohen came back into the room a second time and told Karen in a menacing voice, "Don't you have one of your cats here?" In other words, if you continue to talk out, your cat will be killed. That's the way Karen took it, and that's why Karen doesn't want to talk. So hopefully somebody, some lawyer will go out and get in touch with Karen, that Karen will have trust in and will sue this town. Just like the woman that Mr. Jorgensen abused, we had to pay $75,000. Did anybody reach out for Mr. Jorgensen to see if he'd like to pay the $75,000, make a donation back to the town that we lost because of him? No, I guess not. So taxpayers lost $75,000 because another department head is clowning around. So again, the Smithtown Animal Shelter needs change. It's my Facebook page. There's videos of how this woman, Karen, was abused. Karen was here herself and spoke about it, and nobody had the decency to talk to her.
I did.
Okay.
You spoke to her like 8 months later, and she's
The
afraid.
time is up, Mr. Bancek. Anyone else?
That's it.
I'll move to close the meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack? Councilwoman Anzarella?